Hey guys, Mr. V over here, doing a book review today for Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Before I get into my book review, I want you to know that I try to do a spoiler-free book review, so let's get into the book review today for Fight Club. One thing you should know, by doing this book review, I'm actually breaking the first rule of Fight Club, but let's do it. So the main premise for this Fight Club is that you follow an unnamed narrator who suffers from insomnia until he meets this guy named Tyler Durden. And together they start a secret fight club where people have fistfights with each other in parking lots and underground bars just to relieve stress. And the group grows in popularity, but as it grows in popularity, the chaos also grows. So that's the main premise for the book. Now this was a pretty well-known movie from 1999, and I saw the movie when younger. I don't remember much of it. I remember the overall plot, but I don't remember much, and I've never read the book until now. I have to say, though, that I had mixed feelings about this book. So, it's a very short book. The audiobook's only 5.5 hours, and it is a very dark and unsettling story. I mean, you heard the premise of it, where a group of guys get together and fight just to relieve stress, and it gets more chaotic. So you can see how it is a unsettling story on those regards, but it definitely has an interesting plot, because you do think, like, how would you react if you saw these kinds of things happening? Whereas like some of your coworkers came to work and they were very beaten up and their face was like all beaten up, and this happened on a weekly basis. Yet those people seemed happy and they seemed fine. And a fight club, you can't talk about Fight Club. So they can't even say that they are in this fight club, and that's why their face is all beaten up. So they're making up other excuses. And think how you would feel if you saw these people and you'd be like, yikes, like what's going on? And I say that's the part that makes it a disturbing book, but it's also an interesting plot to think, okay, yeah, what would you do? And why are all these people joining the Fight Club, and why does that help them relieve the stress? So it is very interesting, the plot. Now, his writing style, he has a very different writing style. He's very direct, but has this like raw and like gritty feel to it, to where I think it gives you like the idea for the narrator's world. I think he wants to like put you into that world. He doesn't describe the scenery much. He talks about like what's happening in the scene, but he doesn't give you much of a description. So, you know, you can envision it without much description. And that's why I say it's like kind of an interesting style. You almost have to like just read it to understand that you still can envision it without the description. One thing I did not like, though, was he doesn't describe the characters much. So it was hard to like envision the characters. Now, I saw the movie when younger, so I just kind of envisioned those characters, but I don't like it much when an author doesn't give a description to the characters, because I like to be able to envision the characters. Now, he did develop the characters a bit, because you do learn about the characters through the interactions they have, but again, it wasn't too long a book, so there wasn't too much development of the characters. But he still developed some of them enough so that you got the feel for who they were. And he also moves the story along very fast, because it is a crazy story, so it does not get boring. I mean, you already hear what happens. These guys are doing these fight clubs, and they're getting more popular, but things get even more chaotic. And he keeps moving the story along, and there's this craziness that you don't get bored when you are reading this book, because there is a lot of craziness, and you never know what's going to happen. Like, you never know what's going to happen, and I was really curious how it was going to end. I was very curious for that. Now, the end, I had like a mixed reaction, because I thought the last few chapters was kind of just a bit crazy, but I enjoyed the absolute end. I did enjoy that part, but the end overall is just okay for me. Now, there are a few parts I did not like about the book, but one of the main things I did not like was the book felt a bit messy overall, where you already heard about the writing style, but sometimes the writing style actually just felt like he was just giving you a random thought. Like he wasn't even developing the story much. It was just one chapter would be like a random thought, and it just felt kind of odd. And that's why I felt kind of messy. It did not drag. I want to make that clear. It did not drag, because he did keep you engaged, but it didn't fully pull me in. I think it was because of that like messy style at times. It was interesting enough that I wanted to know what was going to happen, but I was just never super into it. I wanted to finish the book to know what was going to happen, but I wasn't like so enthralled in the book. And I think it was just because of that messiness of it. And I think it was the delivery of the story, you know, because at times it felt all over the place. And that was one area where I feel that I actually enjoyed the movie more. That's a rare thing where you enjoy the movie more than the book. But I think the delivery of the movie was better. And I think that's one of the, again, it's a rare thing where the delivery is better. But overall, I would still say that it was a decent story. It was just nothing great. I think seeing the movie before the book kind of hurt it a little bit, because then I did lose some of the surprise elements. As I said, I don't remember much of it, but I remember certain main parts. I did lose some of the surprise because of that. But also, you can say maybe the movie helped the book a bit, because then I could envision the characters and see what was going on. But overall, I'd still say if you're considering this, read the book before the movie, and just be prepared for what you're getting yourself into when you're going into this book. Now, let me give it my official rating. So I always rate my books on a scale of 0 to 10, the 0 being an awful book, a 5 is average, and a 10 is phenomenal. If it's anywhere near 10, put it on your reading list, because I'm a very tough critic, and a 5 is average. So for Fight Club, I'm going to give this book a 4. And that's below average. Remember, 5 is average, so I'm giving it 1 point below average. The reason being is, I said, I enjoyed the story. I thought it was an interesting plot, but it was just a little too messy and a little too all over the place at times, which is why I still feel that it may be worth a read, but I wouldn't be rushing out to go and get it. But if you guys enjoyed my book review today, hit the subscribe button, as I always upload multiple different types of book reviews. If you guys have any questions, have any comments, post it in the comment section below, because I always love hearing your opinion. But thank you for watching my book review today. This is Mr. V. Go enjoy reading.